Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Isa, and today I wanted to share a story about something that happened earlier this morning, which was pretty terrifying, to be honest. And I decided to share this to raise awareness around how debilitating it can to be in a switching cycle as well as in a dissociated state or dissociated. We also want to share that these things can make one very vulnerable to their surroundings and what is going on around them. And yes, sometimes being dissociated and being switchy can lead to funny situations or things that you can laugh about later, but this was actually something that was pretty terrifying. Yeah, I'm still not very focused. So we've said it or mentioned it a lot in our videos, but I'll mention it again. Our system is very switchy and we switch quite a lot throughout the day. We experience rapid switching cycles and switching cycles in general that can last a varying amount of time, and all these switches can leave us very exhausted, and the stress that it causes on our body can also make us a bit dissociated, and it's hard to always keep grounded and make yourself grounded. So after waking up, our brain is still a bit fuzzy, we're sleepy, and that can have an effect on how much we are grounded and stay focused as a system. So it is not uncommon for us to have switching cycles earlier in the morning after waking up. So today we wanted to eat breakfast. We usually do that. It's like a routine. We wake up, we make ourselves breakfast, and blah blah blah. So luckily our breakfast does not involve a lot of skill or focus. It sometimes takes a longer time depending on how grounded we are or how switchy we are or how easily we can move around without being too exhausted, but it kind of just involves putting toast in a toaster, waiting until it pops out, putting stuff on it, making ourselves a cup of coffee, and that's all. Now, today and this week we stay at our girlfriend's place because our parents are on vacation, and so we can spend more time together, as well as just having her being able to take care of us when she gets home after work and give us a safe place, or just being with our safe space a lot of the time, which is very comforting. But again, so we're alone right now, and we've been alone the time when it happened, which was even more scary because without the help of technology that they luckily have right in their house right now, it could have been very bad. And I'm so glad, and I'm actually very relieved that they had that here. I think it's a necessity in Germany to have this kind of technology in your house, but get to that later. So we've been very switchy, and we try to prepare breakfast, put out a toaster and get ourselves toast, put it in, and sit down because it's really exhausting to stand up and keep all your muscles and body up when you're very switchy and your brain is mainly focused on sorting out what is actually going on. So we just sat down and we are in this dissociated kind of state, and I don't know how much time passed. I really have no sense of time then. I don't know what was actually going on. I just know that suddenly it started beeping. It was such a loud beep, and it physically hurt me. I could physically feel pain due to the intensity and the volume of that beep. It was an ear-ringing, extreme beep, which of course I'm glad for, because otherwise it wouldn't probably have like zapped us out. Again, when you switch, or when you're in a rapid switching cycle, you do not have control over when you switch, who you switch out with, and when you stop or when you start, or like these kind of things. So it was such an abrupt thing that kind of, it was so scary, and it was like we got struck by lightning. It took a few seconds to realize what was going on, but it was the fire alarm in the kitchen and the living room. It's like a connected thing with kitchen, dining room, living room. And it was beeping so loudly. It was terrifying. I was extremely scared. I was not sure what was going on. I was not sure what to do. I couldn't think straight. This beeping was making me go crazy, and I just tried to figure out how to make it stop, because it was so hurtful. And I was like, okay, I have to call my girlfriend because the battery is empty and I have no idea what to do. I don't know how to put it out. I don't know where I could get batteries. I don't know how to make it stop. It was so painful. So I started to gather a chair to climb up to the fire alarm and push it like on the button that's there to make it stop. And it did work, luckily. And when I climbed down, there was like smoke everywhere. Like, it was filled with smoke. The whole place was filled with smoky smoke. And I was like, what is actually going on? I was getting panicked, and I ran to the toaster, and for whatever reason, the toast never popped out. I was so scared that it was actually burning, and I was like, do I have to call? Please do not start burning. I don't know what to do. I don't know where the phone is. I can't phone. I cannot phone. I can't call people. I was so scared. I ran to the toaster. I pushed all the buttons, and then it luckily stopped toasting, and I just looked inside this toaster where all the smoke was coming out of, and I was just, there's no fire. I was so relieved that there wasn't a single sign of fire. The toast was black though, and the whole place was filled with smoke. So I'm not quite sure what happened then. I think we switched out again. I'm not sure who fronted or what exactly happened then, but later when I switched out again, like, the doors and windows were opened and the smoke luckily wasn't there anymore. But it was a very, very scary thing. And I don't know why the toast, like why the toaster didn't pop out the toast, because it never does that. They usually always pop back out. But I'm just very glad that they have fire alarm here, and I'm so glad that we have this type of technology, and I'm extremely glad that nothing bad happened further on. I still have the toast on a plate on the table because I just don't know what to do with it. I still look at it and I'm kind of in shock, and I'm not quite sure what. But the toast, it's black. It's completely black. And this toast almost was the cause for us to call 911. So I just hope that the story makes you realize how vulnerable you can be when you're in that state. And if we would be, for example, if we would go out alone and we're in a very crowded place or in a very like abandoned place or whatever, and we are alone and we have a switching cycle or whatever, we do not notice our surroundings. It's not something that we have control over, and it can be extremely scary to know that this can happen to you, that these things can happen to you, and that you aren't able to figure out what's going on. Hello. So, since I do not know if we've done an outro or if Isa has finished with talking about what she wanted to talk about, I'm just gonna say goodbye. We love you. Ignore my braid. I'm not a braid person. But you have to live with braid Drew today. Lovely. But yeah, we love you. The lawnmower outside loves you, and that's a bit weird.